You're listening to What's Your Heart Problem podcast, the show that brings you healthy advice and perspectives on your heart relationships with your host, Dr. Holder. She has 20 plus years in the field of helping others as a dedicated therapist. She is a coach, speaker, a loving mother, and wife. Dr. Holder is here to help you get to the heart of the matter. Now, without any further ado, please welcome your host, Dr. Holder.
Good morning, good afternoon, good evening, wherever you're listening or wherever time you're listening to me. And I thank you for listening to What's Your Heart Problem podcast with your host, myself, Dr. Holder. And I just wanted to say, hopefully you're having a good, wherever you are, morning, evening, twilight. Thank you for listening. Today I wanted to get into talking about anger. Anger. And just, is it holding you back? Is it helping you? Is it not helping you when it comes to relationships, when it comes to friendships, work relationships, work progress? Is it really stopping you from getting to your next level in whatever area it's blocking or stopping you in life? That's what I wanted to talk to you about. Like I've always stated, this podcast is really about freeing you, not just from relationships or in improving relationships. It's really freeing you from you sometimes, where maybe you have past old attitudes or toxic attitudes that's blocking or stopping your progress, and you don't even realize it until it's too late. And so this pod is really to just show you and make you just aware of you and how you can make your issues and problems smoother, less dramatic, so that you just, again, live a joyous and free life. That's really what I'm about here, and just sharing with you different topics about things that'll just bless you and help and guide you to your freedom, to your joy, to your happiness. So today, anger. The first thing I wanted to do in talking about anger is, what is anger? What is anger? And I'll say my definition of anger is, it's a secondary emotion. The first emotion is hurt. Anger happens because something, someone, circumstances, situations hurt you. And the reason you being angry happened is because it wasn't resolved or it wasn't dealt with in a healthy way. Whether you didn't say something, or you said something and nothing was done, or there was some unfairness of your hurt, or just something happened where you did not feel heard, you didn't feel listened to, you didn't feel like whomever hurt you or whatever hurt you got it. So when hurt is not, what's the word I'm looking for? When hurt is not dealt with in a healthy fashion, whether it's, you forgiving that person for hurting you, or the person is hearing you, or the circumstance or the situation creates an environment where your hurt is dealt with in a healthy way, where you feel heard, validated, the person apologizes, whatever healthy version of dealing with your hurt did not happen. The next level is anger, because you're angry that your hurt was not handled in a healthy way. So today I wanted to talk about how that is potentially holding you back from being as free as you could be. And today's pod is really showing you how to release that energy, how to show that, hey, this did happen, but you do have control. You do have control to manage your emotions, whereby it doesn't impact you so much, to stop certain opportunities or certain things from coming your way. So again, like I stated, anger. Anger is a secondary emotion to the first emotion, which is hurt. And so the first thing in dealing with anger is, Who hurt you? Who hurt you? What has hurt you? What has dealt with you in a way, or who has dealt with you in a way that has hurt your feelings and your emotions that you're not able to handle or deal with very well, where it goes to straight anger. So that's what, like I said, I'll be talking about. So who did that? That's the first question. In dealing with anger, who did that? What did that? And when you get those answers, you then say to yourself, as I always do my check-ins, you always say to yourself, in me acknowledging that emotion, am I able to just deal with it and let it go? Or do I need to address it with the other person so that it can be let go? And then when you address it with the person that hurts you, or you're dealing with a situation that has hurt you, do you have the management of your emotions to be okay to let it go, even if you don't get an apology, even if you don't get like what you need from the situation? And if the answer is no, because that's very hard to do as well, then that will stop and block you from a lot of things. Because when anger is not checked, when anger is not dealt with, it then goes into resentment. It goes into frustration. It goes into all these various emotions that can seem overwhelming and uncontrollable, where you eventually can have a seething feeling of bitterness towards an event, towards a person, towards a certain circumstance, towards a certain group of people, towards a certain, manner of a plethora of many situations. So there's a lot of people in this world that hold on and are in that and have not released or let go of things that can that has bounded them, to not living a free and joyful life. How has anger messed you up in your relationships? Are you so focused on being right that you lose relationships? Are you so focused on being right that it's at the expense of the other person's emotions? Are you so focused on the pride of not saying I'm sorry when you've done something wrong? For example, like if the person did something to you in a relationship and, you're like, well, if you do this, I'm gonna do this back to you, tit for tat. Do you really want a relationship like that? How about a relationship that's freeing, loving, forgiving? When someone hurts someone, there's a quick feedback of I'm sorry. There's a communication of like healthy communication of I'm sorry. Let's work this out. Let's work this out together. Let the problem be again. Let us be against the problem instead of the problem being in between us. That if that's what you want, releasing anger is important. Now, there are relationships that you can be angry, speak with your partner, and nothing happens because the partner just doesn't care. The partner's like, I'm gonna do me, I don't care about you, and go forward. And in those relationships, it's very hard to do what I say because you're constantly being put in a position of hurt. And if that's the case, then you have to really reconsider if you do still want to be close to this person. And in that's where a boundary would come in. That's where, okay, I'm not able to deal with this person in this manner, so I will deal with them in another manner that will be beneficial to me. And you have to be careful with that because, again, is that person angry with you for something else that would make it, if you guys do actually speak about the issue, there would be a good resolve, there would be a good solution so that you guys can continue in a healthy relationship. But it depends. And the reason I'm speaking so broad in that way is because every relationship is so different. There's so many levels to different relationships. And so you have to decide and determine what works for you in your relationship. But like I said, the biggest thing today is really talking about not having anger hold you back from the joy and freedom of being in a relationship, being in a friendship, being with yourself, just really living life. I think I said in a past pod about when you're angry with someone and you're holding it, that means you're not forgiving them. And when that's the case, you have to be really careful that you break that chain so that you can not have such unforgiveness towards the person. Because within unforgiveness, there's anger. And so in releasing it all, it helps to free you from the anger and hurt of the situation. It helps you to manage and be more in control of your emotions regarding the situation in person. So, how has anger blocked you from great friendships? Has it blocked you from great friendships? That's the next category. Do you have friends that have told you things that you did not want to hear? Do you have genuine friendships that really love you and really care about you, and they've told you things that you didn't want to hear because you want to do your own thing, and you've broken apart or broken away from those friendships because you didn't want to hear the truth and you wanted to do your own thing? Remember that it's hard to find friends that can be honest with you. Sometimes people become your friend because of what you can give them. And they don't care if you're going the wrong way. They just care that you are giving them benefits, and they're fine maintaining that, even if you're going the wrong way, even to a destructive path. The friends that care, the friends that want the best for you, are the ones that will give you a real word about some of your choices and some of your decisions that are not appropriate or not right. And instead of cutting them off because like, how dare them say that, it's to listen to the people that love you and want the best for you. And so you have to remember that anger is part of pride, is part of ego. And you gotta wonder, why is it that I'm holding on to something that is blocking the blessings of a good word of wisdom from a friend or a family member? Is anger blocking you from getting that promotion? Is anger making you get fired from jobs? Are you in control of your emotions with anger, or is it controlling you? Are you so focused on, again, being right that you lose in you being right? I remember I knew of someone that ignored their anger. They made it seem like it was other people's fault for them being angry. And interpersonal relationships were difficult for them because they had to be right to the expense of the other person's feelings and emotions. This person always were very proud of being employed and working and always being on the job and their career and all of that. there was no surprise when it came a point that they felt their manager was so off that they expressed anger. And not anger in a healthy way, anger in a very disrespectful fashion. And it was a good position. And they fired them to the surprise of them. Because they felt that they were so high up there that they had a say and they should have. And they were humbled by that. But not for long. And they took it out on their family. And it was unfortunate because you would have thought that it was a lesson they could have learned from. Like when your anger begins to spiral outside of you and it starts helping you to miss big opportunities or lose big opportunities, you may have a problem with anger and self-control. So I'm not saying that anger is terrible or bad. Anger is an emotion. If handled a healthy way, anger is fine. You know, it's okay to be angry about things, social justice issues that's not right. That's why you have anger. But when it's done in an unhealthy fashion and it's disrespectful, it's rude, it's hurting and harming consistently someone or others, that's where the anger is unchecked. That's where you have to look at that. Is anger holding you back from things that can bless you, from things that can really help you? Did you lose out because of your anger? And if you did, can you be humble to accept that and to see it as, I need to check myself where I stop behaving in this manner because it's not helping me. I need to check myself because you're seeing that you're losing opportunities time and time again. Check the hurt that caused this anger so that you can deal with it today. Because anger is no joke, especially if it's unhealthy and if it's unchecked. So this is Dr. Holder, just reminding you that anger is okay. Being angry is not bad. It becomes bad or it becomes not good when it's dealt with or when it's managed in an unhealthy manner. So I hope that I was a benefit to you today in helping you understand the differences between being angry in a healthy fashion, healthy in an unhealthy fashion, as well as is it holding you back. So have a good rest of the day and you guys be well.
Thanks so much for tuning in to this episode of What's Your Heart Problem podcast. If you're enjoying the show or found value in what you've heard today, please feel free to rate, subscribe, and leave a review wherever you listen to your podcasts. That helps others find the show, and we greatly appreciate it. Once again, thanks for listening, and we hope you'll join us again next time in the next episode of What's Your Heart Problem podcast. See you then.